In our last session, the group convened with Tia about arrangements with the Rat King to see what could be done about this. The meeting between the two is somewhat public, at which Tia takes the talk back to the room. Verity finds his own work to do, and Alara has to decide on which members of the team she trusts for this important meeting, discretion included. Meanwhile, Sony and Rosa decide to go and visit the rat catcher who had expressed interest in Sony's dancing. Apparently, he has a little white dog and seems to be a surprisingly alright person after all the initial confusion and misconceptions about Weird-related activity. He's genuinely interested to know more about Sony, about how the dancing and the colors works, and is slightly disappointed when she attributes more of it to magic than anything exotic or unusual. Sigil doesn't quite ring a bell from him either. Rosa is upset of Sony giving too much information, apparently, and eventually as the exchange goes on, Rosa gives us cause for some insults at misinterpreting his intentions or his character, and the two are eventually leave the room, going back to Alara and reporting their findings. Does he have memory issues or is it something else? Meanwhile, Alara has a bit of talk about the Fae, about preferences with Rosa, about companions, much gossip abounds, and eventually the group takes to the meeting at sundown at a lighthouse about an hour's walk from Alpha Town. Only Alara and Moment personally visit the lighthouse, while the rest stay at the halfway point, hoping to not draw attention. Alara and Moment, after some climbing and unsteady steps, arrive at the top of an ancient stone structure with a large crystal on top serving as the light itself. No troubles are cited, it seems, and as when they get to the top, they find themselves meeting a contact that does not introduce himself by any name, a disheveled individual at best. He asks if they were followed, and this doesn't seem to be the case, and he explains that this meeting is neutral ground, at which place a series of questions is exchanged. There seems to be some misconception the party is working for the vampire, though Alara tries to persuade otherwise. He states an unfondness for Enowen, and perhaps whatever activity is related. Alara tries to play the card of keeping things out of the Harmonium's hand, and talk goes on about a temporary alliance that might not be so temporary or might not be so binding. There's a mutual understanding of the Rat King also wanting some attention, perhaps contrasting with the party's visit to Veruska's liaison office. The context states a distinct interest in certain personal house records of Enowen, or whatever it was that drove him from the home nation, if they are able to recover it. And they are about willing to entertain much if so. In the meantime, he states that they are keeping the rat population under control, and would appreciate if the party would take down the bounty. It finally departs with a mention of like and like, dealing in kind, and mutually assured destruction if it should get that far. After which the group reconvenes after leaving, and they get back to consider this new information about the rats being aware of their sleeping grounds and such. The bounty is apparently filled by the time they get back to the inn, some strange fellow with a large bag of rats, introducing himself only as Rorik, is eager to claim the bounty, and Verity does his counting, and the rest of them consider what it might mean from here. All right, and this is where the session begins tonight. So, what's everyone doing? It's late at night.
Nighttime
Yeah.
sleep.
Have we finished counting?
It takes a while more. Uh, the numbers never seem to quite tally, but it's like about but it seems to be about that number plus minus 10 to 15 or so. If
Close
only
enough.
because some of the rats have mooshed under the others.
Close enough. Uh, we'll go back into the inn, and I want to request for Verity to give me back that book so I can read before bedtime.
Okay. Oh, yes. Didn't actually get a chance to read. Was busy helping Agatha.
And then he takes it out from his bag and then he passes it to you.
I will try to get as much information as possible, darling.
Rorik coughs politely and holds out his hand for the reward.
Oh, yeah, darling, this is
Well,
your.
already turns to Rory and say,
Yes, sir. We've counted, and I think it's about right. So, Shacha.
um, turns to Satya.
Right, Sachin nods and hands it over. All right, so that's settled. We're done with the rat business.
Yes. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for finding the cranium rats.
He salutes to Rorik.
No problem. Let me know if you ever need to find more rats.
Do you know which area they are usually gathered at?
I can bring you there.
Is it around this area or is it outside town?
I can bring you there for a price.
Oh, what is the price?
10 gold, say.
Right, he looks at Sile.
Would you like to? I think we should find out where they usually gather.
Can I want to tap on a Verity's shoulder, and I want to try to whisper to him, Verity's shoulder, and whisper to him. And I don't think Verity has heard the whole thing from Alara yet, right? Did she? Did
He
he?
did.
He did,
He
right?
just wants to know where they are gathered.
Oh,
It doesn't seem like he's telling because this information is worth money.
I just whispered to Verity, darling, I think it's better to do it another time. Well,
Arjun
he
looks around.
Well,
Io says, well, 10 gold isn't a lot for us. What's the issue?
we are just scouting out where they usually gather, but
it is the darling. It is considered snooping around.
hmm, that is true.
So I would say not now.
Arjun looks at Rory and then he thinks for a bit. Says,
Well, I suppose I'll take you up on that offer in the future.
Huh? You're gonna wait? I might not be around later.
Um, do you stay in this town quite often, or are you
No
a planeswalker?
promises.
You're not a planeswalker, are you?
Good grief, no.
All right. Um, I'll search you whenever I come down if I need you. If you leave, then I suppose that is better
Your
for you.
loss.
Yes, but thank you. Have a good night, sir.
He heads out after a while.
Reggie sighs.
Oh well,
It's for the safety, darling. It's for the safety.
we'll have to get them eventually, but We have to go the hard way.
At the moment, at least, not yet.
Well, I wouldn't bother you with your book reading.
Oh, right, darling. I will go to my room. If you need anything before midnight strikes where I need to go to sleep, I will be still around. You know where to find me. And then
Yeah.
I head back to my room.
Good night, woman. Good reading.
You too. And
Then
then I will
Verity sits
spend
down.
the rest of the night until midnight or later before I start going to sleep.
Sire, would you like to have a drink tonight?
What's the point of drinking?
Well, we have been pretty wound up for the past weeks, actually. I think it's a good time to wind down for a little while.
Past week?
Yes.
He looks at Verity, looks around, and all that as if like week seems to be a severe underestimation.
He said past weeks. Weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Verity is waiting for you to say.
Um, no?
No thanks, not here.
Alright. Well, I'll be down here.
Stay out of trouble.
I will.
Oh, Verity gonna drink alone.
No, he's gonna drink if Sire's joining. Otherwise, he's just gonna sit there and chill.
What do the others do?
Nerif is tired after a long day of homework, so he's gonna turn in early probably. A head start tomorrow. One more day of writing ahead of him.
It's unfortunate that Kip is not here because I wanted to RP with Brooks for a bit. But, oh well.
You can drop him some lines on the old cake tax.
Yeah, I
Do it
suppose
when
I
you
can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the others doing? Nerif is studying and
Alara's sleeping as well, apparently. Early night, early morning.
Moment.
I think Moment's gone to bed as well, because not
I
to
did
bed,
say
but he's
I
gonna
will.
go read.
No, I'm going to read the book
Yeah.
until late night, late midnight,
Okay.
and then I will go to sleep. Yeah.
All right. So I will summarize the book here.
Yep.
So it starts with the introduction to. Well, it begins with the introduction to Nasrudin's history, which a lot of it has been scrabbled and scratched off. Apparently, after deciding against publishing, he took out most of his own personal biography that would normally be attributed to the author. So he talks about Seagate. Seagate, as most people know, is a prominent trade city on the northern coast of Zendikar and one of the few bastions of civilization insofar as one might consider anything civilized in Zendikar. Depending on who you ask, you'll get different stories, but it should not be said too loudly that the original establishers and founders of Seagate were pirates and smugglers who found an easier living of a lack of allegiances to any of the nations and some profiteering of the coasts that often relied on such shipping for a livelihood. It is one of only two coastal cities that seem to have survived the passage of time, the other being the free city of Nimana within Goldras. As with Goldras itself, what's that? As with Gujarat itself, only the most hardened of travelers or low lives set foot in Nimana, and so adventurers of a higher repute typically start with a journey to Seagate, seeking their fortune. Seagate sits on the northern side of the Halimar seawall, alongside the coast of Tazim itself. Along a coastline of towering cliffs, it is one of the few points where ships can easily dock. Seagate also marks the delta of the Umara River, a swift-moving waterway that flows from deep in the heart of the continent of Tazim. The city itself is strongly suspected to still be operated by the same category of founders as before, and the rulers call themselves the Coin Lords. They are in no particular order of significance: Commissar Sebastian Yerrick, Molo Lassiti, Delera Omaran, Kole Shadra, and Jolan Wilkes. It is
Those
not.
names, is it possible to write it down because I do not know how to spell
Yeah,
it?
Rule 20. It is not the responsibility of this article to state their functions and reputations, but simply to know that their names should be recognized while within the city itself. It was established a long time ago by such people seeking as a place to rest and resupply while preying on merchant shipping or expeditions. But over time, as expeditions became more frequent, scholars sought to delve deeper into the history of the Shattered Lands, while various guilds, houses, and factions realized the tremendous profits that could be recovered there alongside with daily survival, to go without saying. While the city's core is clustered around the harbour, its outlying districts spread further. The remains of an ancient city mark off certain neighbourhoods, and numerous wonders and dangers can be found within. It is said that if one goes far enough, some can still find functioning constructs of a time old and wards still unbroken, or functions never quite determined. Seagate is also sometimes called the City of Dungeons, and those who live here know that the city's foundation or ruins hold uncounted secrets. Seagate's most prominent structure, of course, is the lighthouse, an over 300-foot tall white stone cylindrical tower that juts out from the city's center, which is the finest center of learning in Zendika. Its libraries are filled with scrolls, maps, and writings invaluable to the countless explorers who come to Seagate seeking riches and renown, and is also the frequent stop of the various expedition houses established in Seagate. 5 houses, one for each of the coin lords. They are named for the destinations of their first expeditions: the Valakut House, the Pelaka House, and the Akau Murasa and Balaget expeditionary houses. We warn travelers that rivalries among the houses are legendary and that they have been known to sabotage each other's expeditions. Never officially, of course. One might find better employment as a librarian than as an explorer. Even so, it is trade and exploration and learning that drives most of the wheels of Seagate. Attached is a crude artist's rendition of the tower itself. I'll put a link here in row 20. Which section do you want to proceed on with?
Let me check
Tower.
that link first. Oh, that's a beautiful tower. Uh, which section? What?
Which section of the book do you want to proceed towards? This is the overview summary I've gone through.
Okay, so the one you say out the like the the summary of the story, right? Okay, so what I want to read is that the history of the no actually yeah actually the before when it's a pirate town and also during the scholars coming in to find uh find interest in their lifestyle study and whatnot of the life there. And then also I want to skip to the library and see what's so good about within the library.
Okay, which
Aspect.
part are you going to first? Sorry.
The first part would be the history during the time when they were pirates until the point where scholars comes in and take refuge in the city of Seagate, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. So the part about pirates to scholars, so uh, it states okay, because that's quite a long time back, and since that was not the time when they had started keeping records, there's barely anything on that section. Nasrudin does postulate that the five current coin lords are probably descendants of the original main pirate crews,
Uh-huh.
and that because this being Zendikar, when they the more successful they got with their raiding and stealing, they realized that it was the places that they raided and stole from weren't actually replenishing because of natural disasters and all that. So they realized they needed something more constructive or long term. And that's when they started the idea of expeditions instead of to ruins instead of just like taking from people.
So the coin lords is technically descendants of the
Nasruddin suggests,
I
he
suggest
he doesn't
but
know for sure.
okay suggest they were descendant from the pirates or big five faction of the pirates at least.
Mm.
And then how about the time when because scholars come in, I would assume they would have writings of what is interesting and what they were studying there. So I want to read about the scholars when during the time when scholars come in and their findings, what they are interested in for that point.
Okay. Uh, let's see. The section skims a bit over scholars. Well, there's it's not very clear here, but Nasruddin puts a few proposals as to how it possibly started. One of the possibilities is a sphinx took interest in Seagate, or rather this piracy place, and it was a fairly amicable contact. And from here, the pirates started realizing there was a lot they did not know and could learn from. And it suggests that this is where Seagate started having Seagate started spreading out and trying to make ties with the other arcanists and lore masters across the plane of Zendika. So one suggests it started with the Sphinx visit.
Mm-hmm.
Another suggests that during one of their excursions or travels, that they came across a strange temple, which seems to be related to the Ula temple of today. It's not known whether they are the same buildings. Apparently, they found information there that was sufficiently interesting for them to start scholarly pursuits. Perhaps the ruins of the temple itself suggested that there were other sites of importance or profiteering to be had. Another theory is the Another theory is that as their piracy grew, they found that some of the places they used to raid decided took on the philosophy of if you can't beat them, join them, and well, migration started happening. Others started like coming to this place, seeing that they had something going on, reasonable defenses, and most importantly, a relatively protected coastal zone that isn't barraged by waves. So immigration is a third. This also leads to the proposition of why it's a very diverse population today, although merfolk are still a main portion of it. And a fourth theory of how it went from scholars to there is that there were visitors from the only other place known to have a coastal city, from the free city of Nimana. Those are the
Wait,
four main theories at the moment.
Nimana is one of the main uh trading.
It's the free city of Nimana and Godras.
So basically, where I came from.
No, you came from Malakir. Like Malakir has like 90% more vampires than Nimana. Although it's not to say that Nimana is much better.
Yeah, but that is the also a trading center if I'm not wrong, right?
It is.
Okay, so that's correct then. Let's see.
So people from the Freeport migrated there or something?
Uh, it suggested that people from the Freeport met with Seagate. Uh, it's not known what was exchanged, but maybe that gave them the idea to do their own.
Hmm. So before they
Nasrudin
became
also chalks
Seagate.
it. Hmm? Yeah.
Then,
Nasrudin chalks up in side notes that he wonders if that's why vampires aren't welcome today.
okay.
Is like his theory is vampires unwelcome today is based on Nimana's trading thingy.
Interactions.
Yeah, well that's harsh.
They didn't have good experience there.
Yeah, to be fair, they even trade slaves though. What can I say? I mean Nimana.
Hmm.
Okay, so is that all four theories about the scholars coming in?
Yeah, because again, keep in mind when they started coming in, this was like not yet when they had they didn't have the library yet.
Yeah, but this is just theory that is been written down, right?
Yeah, this is Nasruddin's own theories.
How about is there any information just by library, or is just saying that the library is just vast knowledge scrolls and whatnot within it?
Okay, on the library itself, Nasruddin writes that he can't divulge a lot of this because, again, he was planning to publish it.
Uh huh.
So there's a lot of information he wasn't allowed to disclose because the library has copyrights or what
Mm.
passes for copyrights in this in Zendikar.
Oh,
I mean,
understandable.
it's trade secrets. It's what the expedition houses use, so it's not willingly shared.
Oh wait,
What?
Expedition House uses the library.
I mean, it's a repository of information, so they
So
contribute as much as they take from it.
let me write this down for a sec. Expedition
Hmm.
repository information. So technically means they won't allow anyone to go in
No, no,
unless.
no. As in, Nasruddin cannot publish a book by like with a lot of stuff about the library.
Mhm.
But what are you trying to find out about the library itself?
What not like I want to know like the library what knowledge that it contains it that makes it so vastly.
Okay. The main thing he states is that people go out and whatever they learn. Okay. So the library itself is filled with scrolls, maps, and writings
Mhm,
invaluable to the countless explorers.
mhm,
So mainly, the library is basically where they store all the written information they have
uh-huh.
from Seagate. Like it's basically think of like basically like a national archives.
Ooh, oh,
So everything.
so everything that they know during
Well,
their like
most of what they write goes there.
so as long as they are well acceptable based
Yes.
on what
Do
I know.
they get like entrance fees and all that? Is it do we
Okay.
just go in publicly?
Nasrudin states that articles are stored within Seagate, although there's of course a stringent review process. He doesn't go into detail about this. As
Okay.
for those gaining entry into Seagate itself, the expedition houses have their own means of gaining access as because they themselves are main contributors. So typically, for an outsider that's not part of an expedition house,
It will be hard, I will assume.
yes, especially if you're not local. So mainly it says how to get access to the library. One can either contribute a significant sum because the library
Or
requires maintenance,
you
or one can contribute significant knowledge that is relatively new, uncertain, or unknown. There's a third option of doing like some people get into the expedition houses in exchange for access to the library. So sometimes the librarians may allow access in exchange for tasks.
uh oh task as well. Let me write that down for task.
What kind of tasks? Like expedition sort of
I would
tasks?
assume it's expedition task because like expedition people are
Mm.
able to go in.
Yeah, but for those that are
Not part of
not
expedition.
for those that are not part of expeditions or do not join expeditions, then the tasks tend to be a less wide-ranged one, simpler but more tedious. For example, uh, retrieving a library book from a sphinx that's overdue.
Oh no, that is no less right range but tedious task. Oh no, I do not want to retrieve a book from a six.
We will have 2 hours of talking.
Uh, so I guess there are two things that our party can gain entry to the library from what the knowledge I have been gathered.
Are
Book.
they are they happy with gaining knowledge about outside, or are they more interested in knowledge
Oh
of
yeah.
inside?
Do they have anything written about knowledge that they would receive, or this is not something Nasruddin has
Knowledge
written
that they
down?
what?
Knowledge that they would receive like did because I remember something he said before like there are some information that are a no or been like what do you call it something like filtered away and
Okay.
only a certain information that they do allow. So what are the information allowed?
Uh, in the book, it's not said, but Nasruddin just emphasizes that there is a review process.
Mhm.
So, your gut feeling is that if the review process doesn't like something and removes it, you shouldn't go on too far to pursue it.
Okay, so based on my readings, I can assume that either a sum of money or a task would be a
Mm.
thing because knowledge
You
I
can also
am.
donate information, but if they don't like the information, then
They,
they ask for something else.
yeah, so the more easier way is the other two. That's why. Do I still have time to read before I fall asleep?
Go ahead. What else do you want to know? What other sections do you want to
Okay,
cover?
so I have read about the history, the pirates, the four theories of the scholars coming in, the library. So what else? I would take one more before I go to sleep. I would say it will be the uh, oh yeah, the people and lifestyle within Seagate. I want the more recent one, not history, not like old ones.
Which one? His what lifestyle is it?
Yeah, the lifestyle of Seagate.
Okay. So, well, for the first time, you see the word idyllic being used.
What?
Idyllic.
Idyllic. So shit. Idyllic.
As in, it's a bit hard to conceive of this from someone who has just come from Akam and yeah. But anyway, what it describes about Seagate is routine as well, where everyone has a function to play in Seagate because they're the expedition houses. Everyone knows what they do. Everyone knows like which regions they are better able to handle. So everything goes on about knowledge, searching, exploration, and retrieving. So, so the expedition houses, the book itself doesn't cover so much because trade secrets on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
But the expedition houses are like the main movers of the city itself, and the coin lords, of course, rely on the expedition houses to perform and keep things going.
Expedition House are movers of what again?
No, they're the main activity
Like they are the main guys who do
who do
most of the
things.
work. Do most of the work here, I assume.
As in, the city was founded around the whole idea of expedition houses.
Oh, so mostly revolve around them then.
Yeah. So, the librarians have a very routine, idyllic lifestyle, which is they uh, they maintain the library, they make sure records are in order, they do the borrowing and retrieving. They check that the foundations are safe, the wards are holding. So there's like a very routine process about this for all the librarians. It
It
doesn't go
sounds
into detail exactly how, but like it can be assumed that there are duties and it's a duty roster.
uh something caught my attention. Foundation are safe like the whole Seagate Foundation and the expedition houses, I assume.
Well, so it was mentioned that there was a massive Halima seawall. So this is a coastal city with coastal protections built.
Mm-hmm.
The coastal protections are renewed and reviewed regularly. While a Seagate Foundation, because it's called the City of Dungeons, so
Mm-hmm.
people have to check and make sure the foundations are holding and such.
And it's not crumbling down on themselves.
It doesn't specify how they check, but it's presumed they do. Coastal.
How about the you said the foundation and was it what's the word just now you said foundation are safe and the is it bindings or
Not just foundations. Well,
because like
oh, wards are also
yeah
there.
yeah words what are the words they are talking about?
It's not put in the book
Shit.
because this would be highly confidential information.
Because words either it's like to ward out things or to bind something because it could be either or nor.
So
Okay.
the wards are like protection for the sea stuff.
I would assume
Yeah.
it's either the sea stuff or the dungeon and within stuff because like
Oh yeah, how
it,
about the dungeon? Do they
Hmm?
seal it? Like, is a dungeon people
oh
go
yeah
in?
okay I did say last because I assumed that my character would not stay up that long but I think I would do last one for the morning like at least like say during the morning I'll do another read up about dungeons.
The dungeons, the expedition houses deal with them. The library doesn't bother.
Okay, so there are monsters within the dungeon I will assume.
Yes, it can be assumed so.
So it's a huge dungeon down below Seagate.
But there are still a lot undiscovered within the dungeon, right?
Well, it's called the City of Dungeons. Those who live there know the city's foundation or ruins holds uncounted secrets.
So
So not
there are
fully
still
explored.
yes, there are
No.
still a lot to explore there.
Hmm.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
Either so from what I read, either we join a expedition, give a sum of money to to give to the library for entry fee. Because I'm not sure if there's any knowledge you guys would give that would consider they do not
Expedition
already
sounds like
know,
fun times.
or they already know, and like that's not new information for them. So the thing is either a task, join an expedition group by one of the five,
Yeah, you
uh
stated that
point
already. All right.
and sums. Okay, so I think that is it. Unless
Okay.
yeah, that
So passing it on to Verity then.
yeah, I'll pass it to Verity.
So it's kind of late, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, are there a lot of people around, or people are slowly like thinning out?
There seems to be quite a lot of people around, mainly because there seems to be a people work. Well, some people come and go. Some clearly have preferred times, and some less so.
So
Oh,
I
okay.
will go down to
Are there
downstairs.
any familiar
Nope, nope.
faces?
You're sleeping now. Moment.
Oh,
That's done.
okay, then never mind. Ignore that then.
Are there any familiar faces?
Verity looks around for familiar faces. Give me a
Darn, ask me
perception.
to run. Come on. I picked a long thing. Yeah. Why am I not surprised? I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
Okay. Verity is just milling there, minding his own business.
All right then. He'll just make his way to Sacho then.
Yes. What is it? What can I help you with?
When he sits down on the opposite stool, and then yes,
Is it alright to ask about Seagate from you? I heard that you have one of the members of the expedition houses.
Sachi looks at Verity and says, I don't know where you get your information from, but maybe you should be checking your facts. And he goes back to polishing his glasses.
Oh, well, we're planning to go to Tazim soon.
he's just talking to like him as he does his stuff.
And I'm just wondering if anyone could give us any pointers before we bumble into it and break things and get ourselves in trouble.
What on earth are you all trying to do now?
Uh, um, we are heading to Tazim to find binding runes and information.
Verity, even with your passive perception, you're aware that heads are turning.
Like he just answers that.
And
And
how do you plan to get to Tazim by a rowboat?
Hmm, perhaps.
It's too late for this. I think you should go and get a nice rest.
right, he like sit there and says,
Well, um, is there is not alright to have a private talk to you about it?
I don't do private.
Ah, alright. Is there any way I could persuade to have a talk about this?
Where are you getting at?
I'm just looking for more information so that
when he looks around, and then people are just like turning heads, right?
Are you trying to. Are you dragging Mormon and Burks into this?
I think they are coming for other reasons.
I'll talk to them, not to you.
All right, that is good enough for me. Thank you.
And then Verity like does a smile and then he gets up and say,
Then I'll be speaking to them after this.
then he goes up to his room.
Okay. Rosa and Sony are out, right?
I think Sony is just following Nerif and Rosa's following
Okay.
Alara.
No, we don't have
So
a
they'll
bird.
both be awake in the morning.
Oh, what is Nika doing?
Nika? She is roaming around somewhere.
Okay, so you don't want to deal with Nika right now.
Not
Okay.
yet. Okay.
All right. You all rest and moment. There's a knock on your door in the middle of the night.
Um, I scratch my head and look at Burks. I'll see him fall a deep sleep, and I was like, moving slowly towards the door, and then remember, oh right, I haven't eaten tonight. Shit, and then open the door. Yes, who is it?
There's no one outside, but there's a little note stuck there
I look at the note.
asking you to come outside of the building.
Ah, I get ready my weapons, my armor, and then don my normal red uh, cloak and hat, uh, and then walk outside to the building. I give a big sigh and look around.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. First perception of the day, 13. Oh,
Okay, moment. You turn around, going outside, and you find yourself face to face
huh?
with okay, that's fine. You find yourself face to face with the bartender
Mm-hmm.
who has a little hooded lantern there and turns it off as you come around the bend. All right, let's have a talk.
I assume this have to do with the group that is disturbing you and I lately. And he just chuckles.
Are you getting rid of them yet?
Uh, I still have things I need to do. So what is it about?
So I heard they want to go to Tazim now.
Yeah, they do. Are they trying to get information out of you?
In their usual fashion.
Okay. Which one is it? I assume yesterday when I go to bed, it will be the knight in shiny armor one, right?
Yes, I don't think there was a single ear in the living room that didn't hear it.
Okay. Oh well then. How much trouble are we in? I would say. Let's hope it's not a lot.
Well, first of all, I want to know if you and Burks are going.
As I think I have talked to Berks about this, I'm going for a different reason. Hmm, I require some information that would not be acquired
Are
normally.
you still acting like a guide or are you retiring?
I'm planning to, but I think I'm still acting as a guide as of moment. I will retire soon. I don't know how many jobs left.
What do you mean guide? What do you know about Tazim?
No, in Tazim is not about guide. I think if we are going to Tazim, I won't be going as a guide. Well, I thought you when you said guide, I mean like in general, not just Tazim. Tazim is I have a different business. It's not as a guide, as someone who seeks information. I need to find something that is not normally information able to required.
Spit it out, boy.
I still unsure what it is yet because I'm still waiting for the thing that was technically supposed to be delivered to me to in search of the information. So I do not know what to tell you about, but it is an information that is not normally able to be acquired somewhere around here.
That's. You just spent a whole lot of sentences telling me nothing.
Yeah, well, what can I tell you? It is right now I have nothing to tell you, but
I'm
it
not just about why you're going, I'm just about why you and Burks are still planning to go.
works. Well, I just need company, I guess. I'm not sure about Burks, but I wish he's coming with me.
You're both going to be out of your element, you know that.
Yes, I've been trying to prepare to hopefully not draw too much attention. As you know, I draw
Moment
one.
you draw attention, the moment you start talking.
Yes, yes, darling. Yeah, I,
Don't do that over there.
I understand. And then he just keeps scratching my head. I've been doing a lot of planning just so that I don't stand up too much, get to get some clothing and then whatnot, and then now I have to change my accent.
So you're going because you want answers from there that you somehow can't get from your own home place.
Well, you already know that my home place is not like very like knowledgeable. Like they are knowledge. Don't get me wrong. It's just that they are not that type of people. Well, first thing first, I still haven't decided if Tazim is a place I want to go yet because based on the thing that I receive, and if I check for myself it's something I do need to go, then I will go. If not, well, I have to find another way to tell them then. But right now, don't tell them anything about that.
Oh, goodness, no, I'm not going to encourage them further.
Mm. I'm
I think
doing.
they seem to think they're going to row there in a boat or something.
And then this is not like a silent chuckle. It's like I actual moment actually laugh. It's like oh no, seriously.
I'm not laughing.
No, I'm laughing because it's hilarious. I already told them millions of times there's no way of getting there. Like for example, you know that they come from like some mysterious boat, right? Or ship. Even with their ship, we will take long travels, years even to even get to that piece of land. They just don't know the distance.
I I'm gonna say I'm gonna wash my hands of this group, whatever they wanna do.
Well, I
It's
would
my
say,
responsibility to keep guests alive under my roof, but I can't be responsible for them outside.
hmm, well, let's just say this. They are very unknowledge about this plane, like even the distance of the scale, the large scale of this place. But
Where did they get the idea from that I'm part of Seagate?
no idea. I really don't. Wait, they did? Did they actually ask for? Are you from Seagate?
The helmeted one did.
Hmm. Well, if he's that blunt, let's just say that they get some information that you might be once people from the Seagate.
Tell them go bother Nasrudin or something.
We already did.
What did Nasrudin say? Don't
Oh,
go?
well, look at that group. Even if you say don't go, you think they will not go?
Well,
Maybe
I
I.
don't know why bother.
Yep, that's
But,
fair.
well, I have a little story to share with you and Burke, something to keep in mind.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna like tuck in a little bit, just like sit still and listen to what he's about to say.
I was one of the expedition house guides once, the account one. That was a long time ago when we were still living it, so to speak. I thought that was the life for me, just guiding people around places, keeping things in order, making living it as good, earning as well as one might in Zendikar. And one day we had the biggest group assembled. I won't tell you where,
Okay.
but we had a big group. It was well planned, months of planning, everything. Lull mages, trap smiths, lore masters, even stranger folk whom I didn't count on were there. We had everything this expedition needed to succeed, and I even thought they over prepared. Then we got to the dungeon, the ruins, whatever you call it. I'm not going to give it a name.
Mm-hmm.
I stepped in there as the guide, taking my position, doing my dues, and let me tell you, that was the first time in all my years of experience as a guide that I got a bad feeling.
The
A
bad
bad
feeling.
feeling so bad about the whole place that I actually went to the expedition leader and asked him to consider turning the whole thing around. And I guess you could say that was the end of my career. There was no way anyone would have done that. I couldn't blame him, but I just felt that as a guy, I had to say that.
When you said you feel like something is bad,
Something worse than anything else I ever felt in all my years.
is it like a sensation, like a sixth sense kicking in, or like you smell or you feel something that is out of the ordinary from sixth sense?
You're a guide. We are guides. Sometimes we get a feeling about a place,
So it is our sixth sense, I assume.
something like that. I couldn't, there were no words I could use that would satisfy the expedition leader and members.
I would assume you won't give out which.
No, never.
So, but may I ask, was it in housing,
What did what?
the place that you were planning to go, but end up saying
They
no,
went in without me.
they did. I assume they never came out.
Not from what I heard. But anyway, that was my career finished.
Was it within our
Look,
unit?
stop asking those
Okay,
things. I want
okay,
you to be clear on one thing.
Okay.
At some point in your life as a guide, you're going to get the same sixth sense. It's what's kept you alive,
Yes.
and it may tell you things that the party might not want to accept. Think about it if it ever happens.
I'll consider. Actually, I'm already think of took a very long time to think about actually retiring, but maybe just this last time until that 6 cent kick in at least. Thanks for telling me that.
Right, good night. Get some rest.
Before you leave, I do have something I want to say. Last, just now you did mention that you you do keep people within your inn safe, right?
Yes?
I look around. Can I roll another perception check? Just so I want to see if any wandering eyes, ears, skittering rats or whatever that is.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. Investigate. Not investigation. Perception. Perception. 16.
You look around you. Where is it? And on one of the building roofs, you
Mm-hmm.
see a little rat.
And then I look to him and said, "It's not safe even out here. Do you have someplace safe to talk things? I do have something I want to tell you."
He gives you a weird look. What?
And then I point. And then I'm just like to my chest. I didn't even lift my hand. Like I'm just going to point my finger upwards. This is something regarding that. Even though that helmet guy says some really weird things and maybe like out of the ordinary, there is some piece of information I do want to give you that is quite important.
Right. He motions you to follow him back into the inn and
Okay.
around the counter to the back room.
I want to do another perception and see if there's any like prying eyes rats or whatever within the back counter.
Okay, go for it.
Ooh.
Hmm. You don't see anything out of the ordinary, although you do notice that quite a lot of mouse traps and like sulfur has been placed.
Okay. So remember that helmet guy keeps saying about the cranium rats. They are very dangerous and whatnot, right?
Yes.
I think it's not what the cranium rats is doing, but someone who is actually able to control such individual with power. Someone that is lurking through the shadow. They find information as well, but I do not know what they are looking for. But they are quite dangerous within our town, and they already have eyes and ears around this inn. They know where we live and where we sleep.
Sachi just frowns and then shrugs. Well, sounds to me like doesn't Sounds to me like this new bunch of coin lords coming up then.
Well, the thing is that this is not just an ordinary rat or the cranium rats. Have you seen Burks do his thing before?
Yeah.
The one where he just changed into like a giant eagle?
Yes.
These type of people can turn from rats to humans or any humanoid figure and assassinate anyone who will, as long
I
as
haven't lost anyone under my roof.
yes, because they choose to not do that. I've seen one before. Do you know about the incident in the that location? And then I point towards the building that once was I forgot what's her name again. Shit. Where the thief of account embassy was.
Baruska.
Baruska, yeah,
Some stuff burn, yeah.
it was caused by them. Luckily, no one get injured, but yeah, those people, and I point towards the upstairs. Those people were there to well prevent.
Oh, jeez. Better reason to get them going, eh?
Yeah, but I'm telling you this just because they they already know where we all are, and if there are more like noticeable action within the underground where they were, they will come for us. So we plan
I'll
to
deal with it if it happens, but I'd rather you not stir up stuff. Just
no
some
no
can't keep themselves.
I'm trying to keep it to myself, and I'm afraid that that helmet boy almost stirred up trouble just this evening by trying to go where the reds were. I prevented that. He lives for now. So yeah, just keep an eye. This is for you. I know that you have like I know you're a friend and whatnot.
All right, so Tazim, how to get there?
Okay, long story short, it's not a boat. It's not a ship. Our uh, spellcaster managed to find ways to get there through what means to be an ancient or whatnot. I do not know who put it there.
Oh, one of those. Don't be the first one through, of course.
Yeah, well, found that, and then he learns a spell to manage to get us there. But of course, he needs to find the location first.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Don't be the first one through.
yeah, so yeah. Wait, don't be the first one through.
It's my opinion as a guide that whoever wants to deal with unknown ancient portals should be the first one through.
Okay, I guess I should tell that to the metal boy then. He is the meat of the party, I would assume. I would say. Okay then, that's that out of the way. So yeah, that's how we get through there, not through some boat or ship. It's through magic.
Where did he get this information from?
Mm, well, they have their means of the what do you say? They have their missions to go there, and they get
Okay, which ruin did they go into, blow up, collapse, and find this information from?
uh. Remember that embassy that was get burned? They found something there.
Ruska has a.
No, I don't think it's like Baruska have, but what was being burned there has it. Had it. Well, it's burned now.
Huh.
I don't think Baruska will like know such a thing, but she is an art like someone who sort of an archive or something to keep information. It is an embassy, whatnot.
All right, take care, you.
You too. Let's hope I make it safe this time as well. And then I walk out towards the bar area, and then I look around and go back to my room. Actually, during the whole throughout of walking, I was just gonna look around just because I'm pseudo paranoid about like prying eyes and whatnot. Mostly about rats.
Roll your perception.
Okay. The perception. Third perception of the roll. 20.
Wow, it keeps getting higher and higher.
Moment is paranoid, so that's why he's keep looking.
It appears empty.
Okay. So I'm just gonna walk into to my room,
Hmm.
and again I will see if I don't think there is like red house in this room because I assume that Burks always just keep playing around with the walls around here so much
Okay.
that he might even cover up the holes already.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to unarmored myself and whatever. I'm gonna keep my crossbow beside me tonight. And
Okay.
I'm going since I haven't said anything about feasting tonight, I'm gonna take the 1 point of the one necrotic damage from not eating.
Okay. Then the next morning comes around and everyone gets up.
Morning.
Morning. I
Yay!
Breakfast.
I go to Verity and take to the book.
What? You go to what?
Verity and holds up the book.
Oh, do you manage to finish the book?
Um, well, let's just say that, darling, I skimmed through something that would find important to where we are going. If you want to talk about this, I would assume we need to find some place like quiet.
We can speak before big meetings so everyone get the information.
Yeah.
Um,
So that one I will tell you a bit later. That
yes.
entire thing I'll tell you a bit later. And also, what did you do to our poor bartender?
Uh, what?
He's upset.
I didn't
I'm
do
I'm I'm, I'm playing with him. He's upset. He snobs, he cries like,
what?
what did you do to him?
I didn't do anything. Did, is anything happened to him? Should I should we go check him out?
Nah, he's fine. I talked him through. He's fine. He's fine. It's just that you have brought up something weird, and I just looking at his direction.
Yes, I did mention about
Yeah.
the
So just yeah. Don't.
because I suppose I hmm,
Let me say something before we head all the way downstairs to the lobby while we are just walking straight here. Let me say something. It's a history that is like a history of him that he don't want to go and relive. Just like my history as a vampire back when where I came from, I do not want to relive that.
huh.
It is his, and then he doesn't want to like say about it. It's just it's dark.
Oh, I
Just don't
see.
do that. Just
I
don't do
wasn't
that.
aware of that. I mean, I know
That
from
you
Nasrudin that he
yeah,
was part of the
but
nation.
remember you are blunt enough to like just saying aloud within like billions, no, not well, not billions, but dozens of people like sitting and listening. So
How else will I talk to him?
well, for starters, um, at the end of the night, maybe stay late until like literally have no one is up, maybe like 3 a.m.
Alright.
So no, it's just that you have
Three
to.
in the morning. Alright.
No, don't talk to him. I think he have a little bit scarred from you. If you need anything else from him, let me do the talking. Okay, darling?
Oh, sure. Um, uh,
Also,
yeah.
uh, from what you asked from him is nothing important. There's nothing we need to learn from him that we don't already from this book. Yes.
Okay. Well, so you know that they are happy to accept outsiders?
Happy of what?
To accept outsiders and what we could learn and exchange from?
I found a few ways to get in there, but that one is a group meeting first.
That reminds me, we don't really know where we'll be
Oh yeah,
crossing in
that one as
from the
well.
teleportation.
Yeah, that one also need a group meeting from our wizard board.
I suppose Nerf might have known.
So, do you want to do the group meeting now, or we just go have breakfast?
Me and Sarah will do some PT in the morning, and then we'll go for breakfast later. We'll meet up after everyone is ready.
Okay, then I'll go get for breakfast. And then I whisper to his ears, like, I want to mention that I haven't eaten yesterday, so I'm a little bit hungry.
Do you need food?
Not the normal food, the that food. Oh, not from you. I'm just saying, just so you're curious.
What?
Verity's very confused.
Oh,
He hasn't seen
and
you eaten anyone, I think. Yeah.
yeah,
Does
and
Verity
then I'm
not
just
know that
pointing to
Gnome
my
is a
teeth and like,
vampire?
yeah, and
No, he doesn't. He hasn't seen him eat, quote unquote,
Oh,
eat
okay.
suck before.
oh
Right.
wait, I thought but you knew that I do that.
He doesn't.
Really?
He hasn't seen you doing that before. Like you
Even-
guys always do it in like a secluded place.
Yeah.
and, like
It's not really
out of-
secluded. Last time it's just like 40 feet away from the party, and I just like
You
take
were
a bite
resting
out of.
Verity.
Oh yeah, Verity has bad perception. Shit, I forgot about that. Well, Moment didn't know. He's just gonna say that.
he's very confused. Where he's like,
alright.
Right. Enjoy your food.
I hope you find your special food, yeah?
Yeah, I will try, or else I would.
If you need anything, do let me know.
Nothing from you, but most of it will be during the discussion. But right now, let's just see
alright.
the note. Yeah,
Have a good breakfast.
to you too as well. And then I go down and have breakfast.
question mark, question mark, question mark. Verity is like, question mark? And then he turns to Zara like, alright.
Let's continue with the PT.
And then he closes the door. Morning.
Yay, morning.
Morning.
Nerif
Okay.
will eat breakfast and perform other morning activities, and then he will continue writing spells.
While we all eat breakfast, I asked Narif, so how long more do you have of this jotting down notes?
I should be finished by the end of today.
It's good. We actually have to have a conversation.
Of course, I can speak while doing this.
We're downstairs in the mess, right?
Yes.
Uh,
So, or you can be in your rooms or wherever you want to be.
No, we're having breakfast. Maybe we can have a meeting at around 12 upstairs
Of
with
course,
the rest of the people. In the meantime,
I will be there.
I guess we can go speak to the bird and the cat to catch up if I know where they are. Who is in the at the table? Is everybody at the table?
Verity and Zara is
assume
doing
everyone.
PT.
I would say Moment would be at the table. Burks would join if he's still here, but he's not here.
Yeah, Brooks
yeah.
is there.
Burks
So
is
he's there.
there.
Just say Burks is there.
She.
But don't assume that I can do his spells and whatnot.
Don't worry. I don't think we need to do spells. Moment. This is actually really important with regards to you and Burks, considering where we're going. We'll call it the place at the moment. Considering it's not a place that you know, both you and Burks.
Yeah, I normally go. and it's not a place that I know.
We will. We
I know
will.
you, I know you want to find another guy, but
More like
I'm
we will not be employing you. And
yes,
if you wish to follow us, that's fine too. But it
I'm
would
going to
be
yeah, but I'm gonna say this. I'm going there for a different reason, but it is the same place we are going. Fair?
okay.
Okay.
If you have any other information, we can discuss it upstairs
Well, I
during
just
group
take the book.
meeting.
I was like upstairs.
Yeah. Does anybody need to do anything? Out of character, what's the weather like outside?
You check the weather and roll me a d100.
No!
Oh no, weather forecast here.
Yay! Roll the
This is so terrible. I'm scared. I'm scared to press enter now.
Just press it.
Hmm,
Believe in whatever.
30. It's a round number.
30.
I have to write this in the log.
30 means.
Where is it? Day 13, guys.
Oh my god, it's only 13 days.
Day 13. Weather?
Weather, bracket 30.
This place is so chaotic.
Preparation to Tazim. Weather.
Okay, so today's weather is well, it seems a bit unstable. The atmosphere outside.
Is it familiar? It's very familiar.
Did we go through it last time?
It's the
Oh,
Manaflax
it's something
thing.
else.
What do you mean by unstable though?
Okay, so Burks will tell you that when you're moving outside, you're randomly quickened or randomly slowed.
Oh no.
Unstable.
Like outside in the air, but not in buildings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Huh.
Sony wants to go out and
I
dance
call
in
it
the
unstable atmosphere or something.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so
maybe
sometimes you are
Sony
quick,
finds out.
sometimes you are slow.
But how sometimes, like how frequently? Every turn? Quote unquote.
I guess
Like
so.
Would you like to go
mechanically?
and find out?
Well,
Yes.
I assume that our Sony.
I think Burks know.
Well, Sony wants to try.
Sony
so
wants to try. Go, Sony, go.
go
Go.
try the mechanics first, Sony. Go.
Where's Sony?
No, when Sony hears that, she says like, "Oh, that sounds fun to dance in," and she just runs off down
I'm-
the street and like dancing, and you guys don't see her because she's all the way there.
As soon as she gets up, Alara is gonna follow her and just look from the door. Like, what is this?
Yeah, I say she just does like random dance and like frolics down the street and just like turns that corner and poof, disappears.
And
Okay.
then goes back to sit. That's interesting.
She'll probably be back in half an hour or so.
At least we know the market will be open if we need to get anything else. For example.
I'm not sure if the speaking pattern will be slow. Or it's just mobility. But if mobility, it will be speaking as well.
Well, travel light today, I guess.
Oh. But
Does
I
anybody
feel
need to go to the market?
I feel like we don't need anything out there, right?
I need to buy more sacks.
Why do you need so much?
Hey, come on, she's the
Useful, okay.
she's the sax solo, okay?
I mean, how much is it? I think it's like 1 or 2 copper per sack.
Oh my god, you might be just rename your paladin, like not off of something, you just off of the set.
I mean, he used it a lot, and I mean, it's really useful.
Yeah,
That
off of
that
the
is true.
off of the sack. Just saying, you are off of the sack. You use sack whenever you want.
Sacks are super
It's one
useful.
copper point. I mean, he's gonna get four. I mean, if you guys are going to, are you guys going?
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
thinking out of character we should get some stuff, right?
yeah.
And,
What?
okay, here's the biggest question. The reason why I want to know if we are where the teleporter is going to teleport us in is so that should we prepare for like being outdoors, or should we just prepare to go in like in Seagate? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
we can't discuss that because
We
it's not
discussed that
meeting
first
time.
before we go to marketplace.
Yeah, but that's gonna be like after 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Which is like after Sonic come back from whatever quicken or slow infect she has.
Now I'm guessing it's probably 7 o'clock in the morning now.
We have outdoor stuff. I don't
We
understand
do have
what you're
outdoor
concerned
stuff.
about.
That is
I
true.
don't know. You never know because we don't know what is in Tazim.
Also, we do need to finish the cloth, and then give it back to our the lighthouse master.
So wait, we still need to give this book back. We still need to buy cloth for the cloaks so that
Yeah,
we
and
can copy them.
cloth back as well. The book and the cloth.
Is there anything in the book that tells us how we should be dressing aside from the cloak that we have and keep everything? Don't say out
Based on,
loud.
based on what the book says, there's nothing about how they wear dress and whatnot. It's mostly about history, ideas, logic, and whatnot. So, but that one I will tell you later.
Basic things. Okay.
Thing about the reason I want to know is should we be prepared for like training the jungle? Do we need like insect repellents and all that stuff? It's a totally different biome.
Think of it as in Ruby have swamps, rainforests.
Yeah, so like
And
if we are gonna be teleported in that kind of places, we should be prepared for it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
If we're just gonna be teleported in Seagate, we don't really need. We can just get stuff there.
so if we are somewhere around that
Yeah, but we'll
continent
have to
and
wait until we speak to Ano.
and the one.
Yeah.
So I was like, we
the
have to speak to him.
coordinates.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah, we'll be speaking to him because I don't have the coordinates to the circle.
Yep. We need to find the coordinates. Out of character, when we find the coordinates, we can ask him. What is it? What's it look like? Stuff like
Also,
that.
if you guys are going shopping, I describe several ivory strips and I hand whoever's going shopping 200 gold pieces to buy them with. I need 4 strips
Okay.
of 50 gold each.
4.
Also, out of character, I need to ask DM something. There's a component where I need to cast magic to use a mirror, just a common mirror. Do I need to like buy something, or the
No.
disguise kit? The disguise kit would have it coming just because it is a mirror.
Well, if you have a magic focus,
It's not a magic focus. It's just like a very non-price mirror that I need to use.
if there's no stated cost in the component,
Then
you
you're
can use
asking
your
for
magic
cover.
focus for it. If there's no cost in the component, it is said to be inside your quote unquote component pouch.
Okay, so assume that I have a mirror then,
Yeah, sure.
and I don't need anything else.
Okay. So shall we fast forward to the meeting?
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
does Alara want to find the cat and the bird?
We can do cat and bird after the meeting.
Alright. So we gather in the room, and do we want to ensure that we're not being spied on this time?
Yeah. Nerf, can you do that thing that you
The
can
thing
do?
You said you think is thing.
Of
Make sure
course.
Thank you.
I make a small private sanctum that's slightly smaller than the room that we're in.
So Sony is going to cast Fairy Fire again.
Okay.
Like, oh, I know this. Fairy Fire.
Plonk.
Whoosh.
And we're all shiny.
Do we want to make a dex save just case.
Yeah, and Rosa's gonna try to make a deck save.
Might as well. I'm gonna make a deck save. It's
Okay.
probably not gonna happen, but you know. I failed miserably.
So Rose saves. So Rose like, huh? At least if people attack me, they won't have advantage.
And then Moment is like, same goes for me.
I'm shiny as fuck.
So,
Okay. So I will
Verity
not
sits
be
there glowing.
I will not be obscuring the area. Like I won't be preventing vision from going through it, but
Mhm.
I'll do all the other ones. So sensors created by divination spells can't appear inside. Creatures in the area can't be targeted by divination spells. Nothing can teleport into or out of the warded area. Planar travel blocked. And the sound one.
But what
Sound
if they
can't pass
can?
through the barrier.
They have observed me.
Like for example, the
What if they can
evoke
read your lips?
like the evocation that can
Then
see
they can
through
find out what we're doing.
like
Because this
the
thing lasts for 24 hours.
because you
And we
you
don't
just
want it
block.
to be like permanent, like we open the door and we can't see what's in our room, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess this is as good as any. There's nobody here.
Yes.
Nobody can.
And I actually prepared sea invisibility this time.
You know what? And then you see Alara just take like a handkerchief or a piece of cloth, and then she wraps it around her mouth.
Are you trying to?
It's like us in haze right now, guys.
Yeah.
Wear your masks.
But it's fairy fire.
What?
Right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just being safe in case somebody can read lips. We used to have one back in the Navy.
Well,
From far
in that
away,
case-
could read lips.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna take my red handkerchief and just tie it to my mouth.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, what did you learn about the book?
Okay. First off, the book has a lot of theories and whatnot, and let's go from let's start from the beginning. It's a theory that people in Tazim it was once a pirate. Shocking. And then there are multiple theories that I've written down, put down a small piece of note that I've written down while I was reading. Four piece of theory that they assume that what happens in between when they were pirate and when they become a scholar. Oh, do know that there is a sphinx there, assuming that they actually borrow books as well.
The assumption that there's a sphinx there.
No, there's a sphinx there.
An
It's
actual
not
sphinx.
Yeah, there's a sphinx there. I know there's a sphinx there, but I do not know like is it still active or not.
From how things are very different from where I come from and here.
Based on what I read through the library and whatnot, apparently sometimes the sphinx will borrow books from the library that is in Tajim. Shocking.
Okay.
So the four theories, I put it down, the notes, and then I assume you guys already know that, so I do not need
Yeah.
to repeat that one. So, and then there is this information over here, the ha- five expedition houses. You need to know this, by the way, just because how do we get into the library is kind of coincide with this one. The five expedition houses, and the five is it coin of lords or lord of coins?
Coin lords?
Coin lords. And the five coin lords are one and the same. There are five of them, which is the Balakut, Palaka, Akau, Murasa, and Balgay. I do not know if that pronounced properly. And then each house coincides with one of the coin lords. And also, to get into this, I know you guys need this. To get into the library, they usually do not allow outsiders because this library are archived for the people for the expedition to write informations down in and out. Also, a minor fact that the five houses are very, very uh, rivalry. They will fight among each other.
Hmm.
So to get into the library, one can pay a sum of gold for entering the archive just so that it's like a charity because people usually go in and out that doesn't pay the sum and then someone needs to take care of that thing. Two, and which is I don't think it is verifiable, is knowledge that they do not have and they need to go through screening or like checking if the information is like viable, wanted, or remember that there are some informations that is not wanted in that area. And
Mm-hmm.
then the third one is doing a task for them to get entry. So these are the three things you can get in through that. And also, um, I found something really interesting. This is the life, and then I put down a note. The life in Seagate. I don't see this word often. I showed our wizard the word idyllic. Do you know this?
What's wrong with this word?
No, I'd never seen this word.
It
I know
means
how to pronounce it. I just don't know what that means.
nice, pristine, beautiful.
Where I come from, that will be not the word I'll be looking for. Anyway, so I never seen this word. So it is very idyllic, and it is a very, let's say, routine city. In Seagate is a really routine city. Everything that is functioning there is kind of revolve around the houses, the expedition houses.
Mm-hmm.
Something to note: there is actually a dungeon within Tazim that are still not been discovered fully yet. The expedition houses usually go down there as well.
I don't think that's a priority for us
That's
at the
not a
moment.
priority, but that is like something. If we want to do some tasks for them, we do not know if this is a place that they will send us to, or it's just like fetch this book from somewhere that overdue or whatnot. But
Mm.
just to keep in mind, and here and then I put down another note about the like no, that's the note of the light of Tazim, and then just that's that. I think that's about it as well. Yeah, that's about it.
It looks like joining exhibition houses is a bad idea considering they fight with each other.
Yeah, they kind of like it's almost like there is a competition within them.
The more I
Almost.
hear about Tazim, the more it reminds me of where I come from.
So either we just do a small task for the library, a small task. Well, based on what I read about, apparently a small task they put an example as in retrieve a book from a sphinx that is long overdue. So that's why I assume that there are actually things that is still reading books from that library. Either we can do a task, or if we have enough money to pay them entry fee.
We don't.
It didn't
We
say
don't.
how much, but it is a significant sum, as what is written.
It's gold that we cannot afford at the moment.
So I would say task then.
Did you find out anything about the culture that we'll be going into and trying to at least not call attention to ourselves?
Well, the only culture I found that is within that is what it is over here, the life of Tazim, very routine. So they know what they are doing there every day in and out. They know what they are doing. They just go there with a purpose.
That doesn't really answer my question though.
Yes, there is nothing. I just keep flipping the books. There is nothing talking about dress could say or do not say. It literally just say that they are almost like an ant, a colony of ants.
Perhaps We can speak to Anowen tonight after Nerif is done with his studies.
Mm-hmm.
Nerif, what time do you think you'll be ready to go and meet with Anowen?
Sometime this afternoon,
That was fast.
allowing 40 or so minutes for lunch.
Oh,
It should be
before
before 4.
before I forget, wait, let me scroll up, because I don't remember written this down. Did I write this down? No, I didn't write this down. I need to write this down. Okay. Oh, before I forget, these are, and then I just take out a pen, and then like right in front of them, names of the five coin lord that need to know they have power because they are controlling the expedition group, but not many people just gonna say their name out loud. But it is a name to remember by, just so that we don't swing this thing around. And if someone says this type of name, we should know that they are powerful individuals within the city.
Hmm.
So I just throw the five name out as I write my own notes in my book.
I guess we should speak to Sasha.
Sasha is the lighthouse keeper, right?
Sasha is the
No,
bar
not
guy.
lighthouse keeper. Sorry. The what you call the dock master or something.
No, that's not. Sasha is
Sasha
downstairs.
bartender,
Oh,
the dude that you
Sasha is
spoke
downstairs.
You
earlier.
spoke to
What do you
him.
need? Okay, so sorry, I just make the names mistaken. What do you need to talk to Sasha about?
Well, obviously Tazib.
No. Verdi has made that mistake already.
Already? I look
Yeah.
at Verity.
Yes. Yeah, it didn't really go well.
He didn't really want to speak about it.
Verdi already made that mistake. Don't.
And how do you know?
Because he was crying.
I highly doubt it.
Because he was crying.
Sasha is crying.
Yes.
Call him.
Called out. Oh,
He called to
Woman
me, he
got
was
called out.
crying. And then, yes, he did call me out.
Our
Did he
our
tell you-
innkeeper was crying. Seriously?
No.
Yes.
The
Do you
innkeeper
want-
does not cry.
Do you want to do a check for me? You want to check me for facts?
We've spoken to Sasha multiple times. He doesn't
Okay.
cry.
He seems like a man with dry tears.
You do not know about Sasha.
If he does want to cry, it's to cry in pain.
But how did you know that he is crying? Did he find you? Yeah, he did say he would be
I
speaking
know, I
to you,
did.
woman.
He speaks to me. I know he is crying. He shed tears.
Sure.
I'm actually lying to the party.
It's less convincing to me now, woman.
It's
Well-
not very convincing. Is there anything in particular he might have mentioned?
No. Just say that. It is.
Insight check.
Insight check!
Let's go.
Wait, where is my insight? 28!
The part where I said he's crying is lying.
No, that one I know. It's
Yeah.
the part where you
So-
say nothing important.
Nothing important. Okay, let me do this then.
Make that deception check.
Nope. And then I was like, just like shoving around, like nothing important.
It was obviously something important.
From your account, he called you and he was crying. Surely there's something important.
Okay, in serious note, is actually something of a guide to guide thing. He used to be a guide somewhere, but he didn't specifically say where. But based on what we found, assume it is Tazim and expedition group. He didn't tell me where it's going, why it's going. He's just saying that guide to guide thingy. because I've been telling him that I want to go in a retirement soon. That's what he just told me. Really, it's nothing important to you guys, and that's a true fact. And I'm not lying. Even if you inside check me again.
Okay.
So, to be fair, it is nothing important by that fact. There is something he is hiding that might be true, but it is a dark history that I don't think he wants to dive into. A very
So,
dark history.
other than the outfit, we have no way of knowing how to act more appropriate to. Hmm.
Yeah.
And what
We,
about our disguises?
we,
Are the people in Tazim as diverse as we thought it would be? Will there be people from other planes? And
uh, what I'm here is like there are a lot of scholars going there in and out, but what is more than that is that there's not a lot of outsiders to be per se. That there are outsiders who goes in that usually do what I mentioned, the three things that you can get in or join expedition houses. That
what
has
I mean is, we are not from this plane.
yes. Oh,
Do you
that
mean outsiders from outside this
outsiders, yes.
plane, or outsiders as in outside Seagate?
Uh, because really there's not a lot of people who actually go there. Well, again, it is the three things that we can do. The only three things that we can do to get in.
Yes, no, my primary concern is
That
we
is
do not look anything like people in Tazim, do we?
based on what I read. It is that three things is if you are not a expedition group or you are an outsider.
Alright, so we don't have to
That's the
disguise
only
ourselves then.
that's the only three things we can do, darling. Like I do not know what I
No.
can tell.
What he's trying to say is whether or not we go in and be very, very different to call attention to ourselves and then get into trouble. That's what we don't want to do.
Well, that in other hands have nothing to do with what the books tells us.
I guess we'll just have to talk to anyone later.
We do have a day because you are going to talk to anyone for another for
Because I'm just wondering if they are scholars, would they be interested in information outside of Zendikar?
uh that one that is based on you if you want to choose to give information outside of Zendikar to them and they choose to either to accept or deny that fact.
But will we be even welcome there in the first place?
Welcoming, I'm not sure. Allowing into the library, another story.
Well, in that case, we'll see anyone at, let's say, 5 tonight.
When you guys go to see anyone, because there is still time, someone can go read the book. Maybe Verity, do you have the time span of reading the book? Maybe
So
tonight or
what the
something.
book?
Read the book, like maybe something I skimmed through. I didn't like look into it.
Alright,
Rose
what time?
will
Oh,
offer to book with
You or
Verity.
Rosa would like to read the book as well. I remember Rosa, Lara, everyone wants to read the book. So
Yeah, Rosa just asked if she can read the book.
oh, actually, do you mind Verity? I will give it to Rosa.
that's fine.
You can
Okay.
do sort of a group study,
We
I
can
guess.
read it together, Verity, if you want to.
Yeah, this room is safe for the moment. 24 hours, was it, Nerif?
Indeed.
When you visit our good Lord and Savior, anyone, do you require us to go there, or do you just need a minimum amount of people just to have an audience?
I believe everyone should be there.
Yeah.
Hmm. I don't really want to be there, but okay.
Everyone should know what he has to say.
I am not there to help him. Just there to help you guys. Oh, okay.
Well, we are using his teleportation circle, so
That is fair as
we
well.
do owe it to him.
Okay. All right.
If he knows what the teleportation circle is, surely he will know everything else about it, like what surrounds it, whether or not the teleportation circle will be underwater, in grasslands, in the jungle, in the middle of a market street, for example.
That would be surprised if it's actually in the middle of a market street.
You never know.
Mm.
Because city does expand.
Well, it's true. To be to be fair, there are a lot of ruins, dungeons, and like temples around there, so it might be one of those three.
No, hopefully it's not a ruin. Okay, out of character, Alara is going to quickly send a sending to Anoan saying, if we could meet at 5 today, um, we'd
Our
like
wizard will have
to.
finished the spell.
Our wizard would have, one word, finished the finished spell. We'd like to discuss, what's that thing called? Location of portal? Is it a
Uh,
portal?
Just
Teleportation,
because
sorry.
has anyone ever invited you to communicate with him?
I think
I
we
think
did
he just
mention
said
that
you
we
call
can,
him or
yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
we can message.
I think it was you know where to find me or something along those lines.
Was it? I have to read back. I have to watch back. Because I remember something like we can contact him.
Yeah, that's
And-
what I remember as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Because technically I'm employed now.
Yeah.
Okay. So from
I think I'll because that's how she.
What?
It's not.
Well, you are breaking up a lot. You're breaking up a lot.
Beepity boopity.
Me? Me?
no, Rose.
Rose is breaking up a lot.
Yeah, no, I just said that Alara would have sending because that's how she usually message people.
Yeah.
Right. You send a sending to Anoan, and there's resistance at first before the response comes back. The circle is a day's travel from Seagate. Don't let them know where it is.
So it would.
Oh, it is secret then.
It's a secret.
Very good, very good.
Very good.
I mentioned this. Apparently it's an hour away from Seagate and it's secret. This is good. We must not let anyone, I look at Verity, know where it is.
Oh, in that case.
And
we
if
need
anybody mentions how did we get here,
Oh well.
we have to
talk
find a
about
better
how
story.
you get there. Do you guys want to make a lie about traveling by sea?
Well, it depends on how much we know about traveling by sea. You've mentioned multiple times that it was dangerous.
How many years do you think it takes to go there?
How would I know? I don't live here.
Verity, I look at Verity. We cannot go there by rolling boat.
Yeah, that's clear to me, yes.
Yes, because it takes years to get there.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Using
Perhaps it's because he doesn't want to say, yes, teleportation circle, everyone. Everyone hear me in the room, okay?
If you want to say
Perhaps.
this,
Perhaps.
I would say that this is a 2 years journey by ship and the fastest possible, and we didn't lose anyone by anyone. But of course, by anyone actually it sounds very ridiculous. The sea is quite ridiculous.
I think I will be sworn to silence when I reach to Zim.
Well, this one will be mostly to Alara and anyone who wants to do deception with me.
Deception is not really within my.
I understand, Verity, so you have your things to do. Just to keep quiet and don't say anything. So there is a lot of harbor around the shores over there that to land boats. So either we use that deception that we take that already take us years traveling from here to there.
I look
That's
around and I sort of have a gander at the most normal looking person in this room. It has to be Nerif, right?
Nerf is a human or half elf?
Human.
Human.
Human in here, right? Okay.
It might be a big ask, but could it be possible that we send you out first to scout? Maybe see what everybody is dressed as. You can wear the learned people's clothes.
He would be.
Are you talking to me or?
Yes, he is talking to you. She is talking to you. Because you look the most normal, and since there are humans with relatively same skin color as you in this realm, so you will be considered quite normal.
And it is an hour away from the teleportation circle, so we can all get there and then prepare for you what you have to say, especially with regards to armor.
What is the plan?
Well, somebody who looks relatively normal can go see how normal it actually is. And if the place looks like it has multicultural aspects, then we can definitely go in without a problem.
Talk about multicultural. It is quite multicultural, but it is multicultural like here in Zindikar, not like we don't have like this sort of variety out there.
And also, because he is a vampire.
Oh no, I'm not allowed there. I need to change this. Also, I need to change my speaking pattern, darling.
Okay.
So what will be our plan after that? We are to masquerade as locals?
As local as we can get, I guess. If people are
That
coming in
doesn't
by
sound-
port, most likely they've been to various parts of this plane. So there's no saying we might not be local. We're just not their version of local.
Speaking of, do we know what is the port? Because if we're saying we are coming with a ship, people
We
will
will
expect
need-
us to dock at the port.
We
That
will
is
need
true.
a more convincing cover story.
Because there is quite a lot of shores that they can dock or port. The sea gate, it is a main port, to be fair, but there are ports throughout the coastline. So
I think with a spyglass, people can already see if there's a ship who docked recently or not.
My recommendation is to be forthright about our purpose for being there. We are
But how do we get
how
here
do we
is the
get there is a
problem.
problem because no one needs to know about teleportation.
If I'm not
Unless-
mistaken, there are other ways of teleporting to a place.
They are speak of like this is just a theory based on the knowledge what I can gather. They are speak of ancient teleportation circle throughout Kazim.
That does not include teleportation circles. So, for example, druids have this thing where they open up trees and then they just go.
or these, and then Nerif holds up one of the puzzle boxes.
Tina
Or
and
those.
Gina.
Well, I don't think anyone would accept those.
If
So,
if a person who is of high enough status, for example, those at the library, were to ask us, maybe we can be forthright about the Tina and Gina. But otherwise,
Well-
there are other ways to get to a place.
do anyone know how to make a boat?
Yes.
What?
A fake,
What?
a fake boat or anything?
No, I'm talking about other modes of teleportation.
Wait, hold up. Out of character.
Hmm?
You want us to make a fake boat?
That's stupid.
No, I'm just asking. Like,
What?
do it? What? So yeah.
What? I don't.
Yeah. Scrap that.
Okay.
So scrap that.
Okay.
The thing
Don't
is
be
that I
ridiculous.
don't want the
It's the
Gina.
biggest scam.
I do not want Gina and Tina to be like, give out easily to even the five the coin lord because they are shady enough.
That's fair. We
Yeah.
can always keep it a secret. But
Yeah,
again,
but we
there are
have to have
other
a story that makes sense.
there are other methods of teleportation if I know well enough. Aside from teleportation circles, there are things where you just appear in a place. But
Well,
it's very risky,
to
so
be
I
fair,
heard.
one thing, if you want to appear in using a tree, we cannot use
Not
here.
just a tree, there are other. Nerif, help me.
There are these things called portal keys. Rosa, if you would.
Oh,
Wait, what?
yeah,
Wait,
out of character,
what?
right.
Could
Well,
quickly say that we
Yeah,
acquired
Verity
one
picks
from
it
properties
up.
with her.
Moment you have a Pikachu, like shocking Pikachu face, is like what? What do you what are you saying?
There are keys that allow us to travel through planes.
I can send hell with this one.
Actually, regarding keys, I think Verity has more information.
You are
Verity would have
telling
more
you are telling
information.
me that is actually no, that is not an information that people would know, like here at all.
Could we use this to bargain entry into the library? And then I point to the key to the
Abyssal
abyss.
key.
I think the reason why we don't use keys to
That
travel to
can't be
Zendikar is
bad.
because it is too chaotic and it always ends up in a different place than it should be. That's why we took the ship instead.
Indeed.
But they don't know that.
But we have to prove it to them it's something valuable to them, isn't it?
That
I
is
do
true.
believe the key is one use. We will not be able to
Come back.
provide a demonstration.
Yes, this key is for other planes that my mother has shown me, but I don't think
Does
they will
Verity
work here.
have a bunch of keys on him, just like
Yes, yeah, he has a lot of keys.
Like,
Are you serious?
He has a key to the Harmonium Arcadia HQ.
okay.
He has Mechanus, Sigil, Acheron, and some
Okay, so
demi planes.
It's,
that's like
and
we
you
have
see-
panic buttons.
and you see the moment Pikachu face just getting slightly wider. What is this nonsense?
Some kind of sigil thing.
Sigil is a city of portals, of doors. We
Yeah, I
can-
heard you say that quite a bit, but I didn't literally mean you to pull out like keys to open doors and portals towards different dimensions. Like, wow, this is new to me.
One day you should come to Sigil with me, and I'll bring you to visit the place a bit.
I can tell you it's a lot safer than this place.
It will be difficult to return, however.
Is it adventure? Is there any adventure in there? Because I plan on retiring, and retiring normally, like like how our bartender is not what I want in mind. But adventure sounds cool.
If you're looking for a peaceful retreat, I would suggest Arcadia. It's
Nah,
a very
peaceful.
peaceful place.
He wants an adventure, Verity. I think he should just go to Tazim with us.
Yes, I mean,
What?
if you
Alternatively-
go to destruction, but let's return to the matter at hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
There, if I'm not mistaken, Nerif, in your field of study as a wizard, there are various different ways of teleporting to another place, right? That
Not
does
a whole
not.
many, actually.
Can you tell me what they are? Do.
Alright, let's have a quick gander at the old spell list. Teleportation circle is the main one. Aside from that, there is literal teleport, which I cannot do, and something
There's
called
ethereal plane stuff, astro.
I mean, we don't have to be the ones who do the teleporting. We can just say somebody sent us here, and then they'll be picking us up whenever. You know what I mean?
Yes, but what's the story like?
The story is we met somebody, we know somebody who is higher level than us, and he's like, okay, go here. We're like, okay, there's a library there, right? Okay, cool.
Why are we going to the library?
To find out about the runes. That is
Find the
apparent.
binding runes.
That
Save
was
your play.
never a secret.
Yes, I mean, that is part of why I want to go there, but how do we get to the temple from there?
I think that could be. I was thinking that during the process of learning about the binding runes, I could accidentally come across some information about the temple.
I do want to mention, darling, that the library is one thing. I don't think they're so allowing if we are talking about the Temple of Ular to be per se.
I don't know, but we'll be
No,
looking for runes first and foremost, so I will be trying my hardest to find anything that leads back to a temple.
well, okay, that's up to that's you then. But I'm just gonna say that out there that the temple it might be a little bit more like
We'll find out when we get there.
yeah.
If it is tough, we'll figure something out.
We still have one day of reading. Maybe we can see if they are that allowing in the Temple of Ular as mentioned in the book. Then
Speaking of the clothes that Nasrudin gave to us, did he say it was scholars or pilgrims?
pilgrims. No, scholars.
Oh, I see. Are we still using the guys or not really?
We are right.
That's the question. That's why the most normal person should go into, or rather closer to the city and figure out what they're
because
wearing.
technically we are going in there to seek knowledge. So using that disguise would be the most normal outcome.
It would be the most normal if that was a general disguise. I mean, if that was a general garb there. But what if it was so out of the ordinary? It's not general. What if it belongs to a certain faction or a certain school where we go in and it becomes very, very evident that we're not?
I don't think that our tavern master was with one of the expedition before.
He said he is off character.
Wait, he is. Well, that's out of character. Did he tell us?
He
Out
is
of
from the
character.
Wait, are you
expedition.
talking about the tavern master
Gotcha.
or Nasreen? No.
Nasrudin.
Sacha.
Nasreen is not the tavern master, he's the
not
port
a
guy.
tavern master. He's the
No,
port master.
Harbor Master. Sorry, I keep mistaken. Tavern Master, Harbor Master. Harbor Master. Okay,
Harbor Master.
Okay, so
He
Nasrudin
did.
is the lore master
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
an expedition.
Yeah, so I'm saying that the Law Master because we are using that disguise, right?
Yes, but you also have to
Because
remember that
Lord,
it's
but the Lord Master is not from an
Okay.
expedition group, from what I know, and the guy from the expedition is from an expedition.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm confused now. Are we pretending to be other people, or are we going to say yes, we came from Sigil
Yeah, that's a-
because blah blah blah?
I
Because
don't
if we
think-
came from Sigil, it doesn't matter what we
Yeah,
look
the
like. We just
scholar
rock
stuff.
up
Yeah, we
and be
just-
like, yeah, we came here with one of these and show a key.
Yeah.
But I think one of the problems is Nasrudin said they're not very welcoming to outsiders. Like outsiders
Yeah.
as in plain outsiders.
So we have the story that's not the key. So we're saying that we teleported
Okay.
we were teleported here by one of our superiors to go find out more information about the runes.
No, I think last time you said something about the Valakut Mountain and the Phoenix. You need binding runes. If
Oh
you
yeah,
get-
that too.
Yeah, you use
one
that.
too. Yeah,
You
we
say
can
you
use
came
that.
from Akam.
Yeah, we
To
can use that too
search
because Phoenix
for-
is actually a thing that's occurring.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
real.
So reroll.
Right.
We're going there by our superiors who teleported us into here.
Okay, so we just rock up in Akam clothes.
Yeah,
then.
or
Yes.
calm clothing.
I think
without the
Akam
scholar.
clothes would be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can all just be like, oh yeah, we're already wearing kinda stuff that is like the stuff that people wear here.
Not really.
Not
we
really.
not-
I'm
we've
not wearing
been-
that. I'm wearing totally
we've-
different outfits.
We've been an eyesore ever since we got here.
Just buy some clothes from the marketplace then. It's
I
not
already
hard.
have them, but I don't use it.
Okay,
They
we're
use it.
gonna
And then it's just a simple case of changing your clothes.
Clothes.
gonna
yes.
then also buy.
But it's
So
not
okay,
fabulous.
Joe, are we still getting cloth for the cloaks, or are we giving back the cloak and just getting
I
local
think
clothes?
we just like make a few copies just to make sure if we have decided to change a part last second and just change it to clothes like that.
Okay, make some as a disguise.
Yeah,
Some,
make some.
I don't
Yeah.
know, just in
No,
case.
but are we even going as?
No,
as
we're not going as
guys?
but keep it just in case we need it. You
Yeah.
know,
We
Okay.
never know.
when
we
we're
need it.
inside the city. You know,
I mean, we can buy it there. It's probably cheaper,
That
right?
is also true.
or they might not even put it out because it's a it's a scholar clothes. It might be just like a
Yeah.
uniform that they don't sell. You know.
Okay, so it's like the what you're talking about is actual like proper
Dress code.
stuff that
Yeah.
we might not be allowed to wear.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
like wearing that
sure.
in
do it
public.
then. Do it.
Sure.
Just do it.
Could
Okay.
be. We never know
Fine.
because we don't know. We don't have all the information.
So
guys.
how many
can
do
only
we need?
assume.
How many do we need? Because we've got to get clothes that look normal in a town like this area.
Get common clothes.
Wait a minute. I think.
Mhm.
Okay, I've not used this before, so I might not have it. But I think I have a disguise kit. Yes, I do.
I do have a
We
disguise
do
as
have a
well.
disguise.
Intelligence.
I think 3 people in our group right now has disguise kit out of character.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Verity
Alright.
asks,
Well, we'll see what Neri finds there. I'm not sure this armor would work or not. Would it work if I'm hired and I'm here to protect you all?
Well, if you are hired, the most they wear over there is not this metallic. They wear more like leather and whatnot. They didn't like the heaviest armor is leather over there.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, people there
You
are
might-
very
you might-
dexterous.
Inferior.
So you might still need to expose your head.
I think it's fine. You're thinking too much into
Yeah,
it.
but we will say that you are hired people just so that we are safe.
Yeah,
Hired
me and
muscle.
Sayal, it's
Like Verity's AC doesn't go down just because he takes off his helmet, right?
I don't think so.
I don't
No,
think so.
but his whole facade and intimidation changes.
Yes.
I feel like, okay, honestly speaking,
Just say he's animated armor.
very
Just-
Guys,
Verity would be.
I wish to proceed to Tazim next week, so wrap up what you need to
Okay.
do.
Okay.
I really feel like if Verity were to talk without the armor, he would be more personable. Because the armor is kind of scary.
Yeah, but the idea is we don't want him to be personable.
I don't know. Like if he
Alright,
wanted
he
to
gives you
talk
the
to
question
Sasher,
marks.
Isn't he meant to be big and scary? Isn't that the whole point?
I
Yes,
feel
he
like
is supposed to be.
sometimes when he's talking to people like Sasher, big and scary is not that great for a high charisma person.
Eh.
Oh well.
I mean, I wouldn't have done anything differently. So.
Okay.
Yeah, he's-
Anyway, figure
This
that
is what
shit out.
happened.
he wants to wear.
Anyway, we'll figure that out because right now we have to go and get some stuff from the market
Mhm.
and then go see anyone. That's it for today. If you have anything to say.
Did anyone say he still wants the meeting, or he's just like done just telling you the teleportation?
Edwin has never been a meeting person.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
already
he
told you
basically
the
he doesn't
teleport-
want the meeting. He's just like, here, the teleportation
Yeah.
is one hour.
So
He
do
doesn't
do
want the
know
meeting,
Do I
but
know the coordinates for the telecircle?
Yeah, he gave that to you.
yeah.
Okay, I have that already. Good.
Well, he doesn't do that, but Alara doesn't know that. She's gonna be there anyway.
No, he said. Oh,
No, he said the thing is 1 hour
just gave
away.
the information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have more questions. What the fuck?
Okay, so we're all gonna go to
You don't have to.
what's her face's.
Alright, he will be there just in
How do you
case.
expedite this? Because I think it's been taking too long, so I rather just expedite matters right now.
What would she just is gonna ask like, what are we looking at when we arrive there? Because she was really worried about being out of place. Because this is one place we don't want to get into trouble.
Yeah, it'll be easy if he has like a backstory to give us
Yeah.
that we can just fall back on and use.
Because he
Like,
did
oh,
say
what do
he's
we
not
tell the
allowed
people?
there anymore, so at least tell us what the culture is so we can blend in a little bit.
Basically, what's our cover story, or do we just make one up?
I think our cover story is good.
And risk exposure.
I like the whole Valakut thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yes. It's just she's really, really wanting more information about culture.
Okay, tell you what, we'll cover this in out of character because I think this doesn't need game time anymore.
Okay?
Okay, so go buy your stuff in the market then.
That one
Ka-ching.
It's done.
bought.
Items purchased.
Oh yeah, what's the... How much
Okay.
does it cost for the Enderman time ring?
I shall deduct 50 GP from my teleportation circle first and not need to worry about that later.
Okay.
So where are we skipping to?
Just want to ask, like, how much is the Enderman time ring?
Adamantine ring,
Yeah.
500 gold.
That's it.
Okay. That's gonna need some time to gather.
Lol.
Oh,
Especially for Verity.
And then that evening she's gonna do a scry on the runner.
oh.
Ah, you've purchased the old
Yes.
scrying font.
Yeah.
Did you use a bowl or do you use a bowl?
The orb.
Really, orb?
Yeah, because then
The
she can
bowl
share
is
it.
more of your thing though.
Yeah,
Oh.
but this is Alara. She doesn't care. She's like,
The
okay, what's the
water.
most democratic thing I can buy? A circle.
Alright, so you scry on the orb. Click the scrying spell so we know what it does.
Yeah. Scray.
DM,
Yeah.
That's so many words.
cry.
Okay, the target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is
What are you
modified.
scrying on at the moment?
The runner.
The Rat King's runner.
The contact is his name.
Okay.
The target knows you're casting this spell. Okay, he doesn't know you're casting this spell. So he just makes a wisdom save.
Yes.
But also based on how familiar are you to that?
Very familiar. DC
So-
17.
Because you're not familiar with this guy at all.
No, first
Yeah,
hand you have met
First
the
hand,
target.
we've met the guy.
Okay, let me just check scrying because that format's a bit weird. Okay, so let's make a wisdom save, which is he wants to be observed. Save modifier.
So they get
So it's zero plus 0. You've met the target, but nothing else.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm not going to say what his modifier is. I'll just roll d20.
Okay.
oh,
Oh, it's really high.
oh he definitely knows.
Never mind, she'll just try again.
So it passed.
Yep.
So you cannot use the spell against it again for 24 hours.
Yep. So she'll try again the next day.
Anything else? Otherwise, next session we move on to Tazim. I'll just assume your preparations are all done.
Yep.
Seems good.
The spell is
Hooray.
done. We're ready to move.
Things
We
will
have got the
happen.
stuff.
Yay, we'll be going to a new place.
Do we do the offline RP for like to know more about the?
No, we're done.
We don't have one more night to read the book.
That we'll just handle an RP. No point wasting session time.
Okay. No, that's why
Yeah.
I'm talking. Like, do we use
Just
the
Google the
use our-
wiki page or something.
Yeah.
It'll be
Okay,
fine.
You just ask your question. The thing I'll connect something.
Okay.
I felt today was a bit too much time wasted on like TLD on non-TLDR.
I was okay with it.
Too much information.
It is a lot of information.
A lot of moments.
Sorry about that.
No, I think it's
No,
good.
I think it was good.
Moment has to get the limelight sometime.
Yeah. And with that, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.